Welcome back to Who's Homestead. Today I'm going to do some winter sowing, and that's a way to get ahead of your seed starting. These act like little greenhouses, so I'm going to put some soil in here, plant my seeds, and duct tape it back up. So this is one of them. Put some drainage holes in the bottom, and I'm going to do one of these with you. And here we have some ventilation as well as a way for the water to get in, whether it be the snow or rain or whatever. If it gets a little dry, you can actually put a little bit of water in there. And you put this out, it stays out during the winter. The sun gets in it. You got to put it on a south-facing area of your yard if possible that gets the most sunlight, and it'll stay warm. And your seeds will kind of cold stratify a little bit. And first thing in the spring, or even before spring, you might even start to see a little bit of sprouting going on. So it kind of gives you a little head start. So what I'm going to do today so far, I have this dry seed starter soil. This is a different brand that I usually use, but I do like this brand for fertilizers. So it's powdery. It's like really dry. So you have to add some water to it and stir it up. And I already started some of that. And I'll do a little bit more with you. So the idea is you want to be able to squeeze it and not have any water come out, but you want it to be pretty damp. Stir it up. And what I do is I don't use, see, that's a little too wet because it's dripping. So you want it to hold together, but not be drippy. So one of the ways I'm going to remedy that is I use 50%, actually probably 2/3 of the seed starter, and I use my regular potting soil mix, and I kind of blend them together. And I choose to use organic, but you do you. So you want everything to be damp to start off. I'm going to stir it all up. And once again, I'm filming this in one shot. Okay, see it's better? Squeezing it, it's kind of holding together, but there's not water coming out. All right, that's perfect. So I already did some of these, but I'm going to show you how to make one. So we don't drink milk. There was a time when we had to get bottled water because the water was bad back where we lived. Now the water is bad here, and it's not something that they're fixing anytime soon. So we have a filter, but for the sake of today, I bought some distilled water. You definitely want filtered water. You don't want anything with chlorine or fluoride or any of that stuff when you're planting seeds. So let's move this out of the way for a second. You can use an old screwdriver. You wouldn't want to use a good one. And heat it up and do puncture. You want to do that before you cut it open. Puncture it open and leave at least 4 to 8 drainage little holes in the bottom. You can also put a couple on the top for a little extra ventilation. This part here you could use either a knife, or I just have a razor knife right here. The idea is you want to leave the handle attached. So I'm going to start here, go all the way around, and end right here. So I probably should have did this before I got my hands wet, but so very carefully. And I'm also doing this on a table that hasn't been redone yet, so if I cut it a little bit, that's okay. It's going to be sanded this spring anyways. So kind of just, it's like a little hinge. Ta-da! And what I didn't do is what I told you to do, which is to cut the ventilation holes and the drainage holes before you cut the sides. So you want to be careful, obviously, when you're using something really sharp. And I'm actually not going to do this right now because I don't want to cut myself on camera. So this is the idea. You've got the idea. I'll put the holes in that later on the bottom. All right, so what we're going to do is take our soil. I just like to use my hands. Again, you do you. So you can plant quite a bit in here because you'll separate them when they're small. I'm just pushing down just a little bit just to get it a little bit packed in there. All right. You want to leave room too, depending on what it is, because as they grow, they're going to get taller and they're going to shoot for the top here. So today, I'm going to. I have cabbage, I have cauliflower, some Brunswick cabbage, this is the red one, and I have some lemon balm and broccoli. That's what I'm going to do today. And they're all going to have their own little cubby, their own little greenhouse. And I also have two kinds of marigolds too, because I love tons of marigolds in the garden. That, calendula, nasturtiums, those are kind of my go-to actual flowers in the garden. All right, so actually this is already open, so we're going to start with the yellow marigolds. So I'm going to put my seeds in, and I'm probably going to put 6 in here, and just plant them like you would. Space them out a little bit. Now I have all cold weather crop stuff, right? Pretty much cold weather crop when it comes to plants, like cabbage and broccoli and etc. But apparently you can do this for like peppers and tomatoes. I have a different system for that, so I'm not doing that today. I'll show you that at a later time, what I do for my tomatoes. And so let's get we get 9 plants in here. And the other thing is, not all of them might germinate, so you want to sow more than what you really have. All right, so I'm going to kind of sprinkle it around, lightly cover the top. There you go. Take my spray bottle with just water, if I can find it. Probably in the kitchen. Yep. So we're just gonna wing it because both of my waters are in the kitchen. And I'm gonna try and lightly water this without sinking my seeds. Theoretically, you'd want to just take a spray bottle and like really give it a good spray just to kind of set everything in. All right. Now, get to play with duct tape. This is why I wear grubbies. And I want to duct tape the part that I cut open. You don't want any gaps in it. If you don't have bottles, you know, like milk cartons like these or water bottles, you can always ask people. When I first did this, it was 2020 or 2021. I just put a message out on Facebook, you know, one of my town pages, and asked if anybody had some and if I could come by and collect them. So I had people saving the jugs for me, which was awesome. So people are more than willing to help. So there's definitely a way to get it. pretty cheap. All right. Okay, what was this? These were the marigolds. These were the tiger marigolds. So I'm going to write on the jug, tiger marigolds. And I'm going to put it in more than one spot. So this is a regular Sharpie, but I actually have a marker that is for the garden, so it holds up better than just a regular Sharpie. So I write this on in a couple different spots, because once it gets started, you're gonna forget what it is. So I'm also gonna put the date. Today is the 15th. Yeah. Oh, today's 12th. So 1, 2, tiger marigolds. There you go. Our first one is done. So it's already been watered, so we're good. Now, the only thing I have to do is plant all these, and I have more. I've got a whole big garbage bag full of them. Actually, 2 full garbage bags of these. So then I'm going to take it and I'm going to stick it. Don't put the cover on. I'm going to put some drainage holes, some venting holes up top. Just give it a little shake. There we go. And this is going to go on the south-facing side of the property. I think right over there along the fence is probably a good spot, because it gets sun most of the day. And then early spring, I will have marigolds, hopefully 9, that I can separate out and start putting in the garden. So I'm going to continue on with the rest of my vegetables here and the rest of my flowers, and you guys have a great day.